So it begins.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and whoa! That escalated quickly. Fortnite has taken on both Apple and Android, has been kicked from both platforms, and has spread some hilarious propaganda-like news around their monopoly, and I am here for it. Now, I wish I wasn't cheering for Epic, which has large stakes in it from companies like Tencent, but somebody's got to do it. And where does all this stem from? Well, it's the monopoly that Google and Android have on applications. This we saw with, even way back in the day with Gab, where they wouldn't let this app on because it wouldn't do what they wanted in terms of censorship. But where does this really come from? It's about money. Apple made $360 million from Fortnite, the online game that is now battling over App Store commissions. Before Epic Games sued Apple over its App Store fees, it was a cash cow for the tech giant, bringing in $360 million in revenue for Apple through Fortnite app alone. A brewing conflict between Epic Games and Apple exploded into the public eye on Thursday when Apple removed Epic Games' Fortnite from the App Store for attempting to skirt Apple's 30% commission on all in-app purchases. They showed this. What they did was they ended up showing customers that if you buy from Epic Direct, you know, you'd pay $10 from Apple, $7 from Apple Direct. Apple didn't like that at all. Apple didn't like being exposed in that way. Now, admittedly, Epic Games did agree to this originally. Quote, Apple's removal of Fortnite is yet another example of Apple flexing its enormous power to impose unreasonable restraints and unlawfully maintain its 100% monopoly over the iOS in-app payment processing market, Epic said in its lawsuit. I agree. I really, really wish I wasn't cheering for Epic. It makes me feel gross. Data provided by App Analytics from Sensor Tower to Business Insider shines a light on how much money Apple and Google were making from Fortnite, which has hundreds of millions of players across the globe. Since its release in 2017, it has been installed 1.33.2 million times and has seen $1.2 billion in spending across the world on the App Store alone. According to Sensor Tower, in the last 30 days, it was installed 2.4 million times and generated $43 million on the App Store, which, of course, Apple takes a 30% commission from Fortnite's App Store revenue, representing $360 million. That's insane for doing nothing. Meanwhile, Fortnite was down at 11 million times and generated $10 million in spending on the Google Play Store since it first debuted in April 2020. According to Sensor Tower, of those 2 million installs and 3.3 million in spending came in the last 30 days. Google also imposes a 30% commission on app revenue, meaning Google made roughly $3 million on Fortnite. Wow, that's insane. That's such a huge discrepancy, but I imagine it's because of the tablet market. But then you see some game journals, big mad. Epic's 1980 Fortnite video is an irresponsible piece of corporate propaganda. Who wrote this? Rebecca Valentine. Shocking. You could easily be forgiven for instinctively marveling or laughing yesterday at the video that accompanied Epic's sudden and complete pivot to all-out war against Apple and Google. It is, after all, pretty absurd video that Epic has clearly had in its pocket for some time now, ready to play as a calculated move in a weird 4D chess move, I should say, between several multi-billion-dollar tech companies. Here's what I'm hoping. I don't really care if Epic makes more money. All right, Tim, I like you. You seem pretty based, but I don't really care about your pocketbook. What I do care about is taking another shot at this monopoly that Google and Apple have over our technology, one that we allowed them to have willingly and now suffer under it. Apps can be banned from the App Store and completely make it impossible to run your business. Everything happens on mobile phones nowadays. So, first side, the storefront revenue cuts, then the game is pulled, then the video, then the tweets, the statement, this lawsuit. Epic baited, Apple bit. The video itself itself, which Epic showed across the social channels and within Fortnite yesterday, includes multiple ridiculous layers of the vast majority of kids playing Fortnite who stumble on it in-game won't recognize. It's played on an old commercial from, yes, 1984. The original introduced the Apple Macintosh personal computer to the public. Apple positioned itself as a heroine fighting back against an Orwellian big brother, then positioned as an analogy for IBM, brainwashing the populace with the heroine smashing a propaganda video being shown to the crowd with a sledgehammer. Epic's 2020 rendition, dubbed 1980 Fortnite, the citizenry is enslaved by a deeply on-the-nose talking Apple, playing the role of Big Brother, while Epic puts itself in the shoes of the sledgehammer-wielding heroine, including its clip with the following message. Epic Games has defied the App Store monopoly. In retaliation, Apple is blocking Fortnite from 1 billion devices. Join us to stop 2020 from becoming 1984. Well, too late. I mean, too late it already is. But it is still an important battle that has a lot of... there's a lot of potential benefit to this for people that don't care about Fortnite at all. The noise got so loud and so ridiculous, CEO Tim Sweeney felt like he had to address it, despite the fact that most of the criticisms across social media didn't really have anything to do with the concerns about Tencent's action at a company. Instead, they just led back to the big box full of racism. How many kids wandering around Fortnite social communities tuned in to this argument and fed there were a lot of gross racist talking points disguised as consumer concern for how a company was investing? Literally, what? What? I should go back. Epic knows that obviously these children are gamers. Gamers have proven again and again that if you can make them angry enough and get the right hashtag in front of them, they can be pretty effective, weaponizing in a myriad of ways. In fact, Epic Games has been on the receiving game throughout the last year of more as accusations were lobbied at its social media being controlled by a Chinese government, all because Tencent owns 40% stake in Epic Games. What do you mean? That's totally realistic. That you're positioning that as some crazy jump. They go on to say, this isn't to say Epic doesn't have a great point here. There are plenty of good arguments for the bogusness of 30% rev share, especially for a company like Apple with its walled garden and fist clenched around the smartphone market. Yeah, didn't they also sue a company for having a completely different fruit? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't fascinated to watch this play out in the courts, to ponder the implications for developers big and small if either sides get what they want. This is good for everybody. You get that, right? You get that, right? This is good for everybody. The idea that you call this irresponsible is absurd. And this will never go to court. They're going to have this figured out in days, and it'll just mean that they'll give Fortnite a 15% cut instead of 30 or something like that. This can, given the right cause, be a good thing. Earlier this year, Epic used Fortnite to screen the documentary We the People, which represents various conversations with BIPOC individuals and their experiences in the U.S. at the time of critical national backlash. Okay, so because they use their platform for something you don't agree with, now you have a problem with it. The second you exit the territory of advocating for human rights at the enter the world of trying to drum up mob support for your giant gaming corporation against another gaming corporation, things get real weird. It begs the question of whether other issues Epic will perceive as important enough to call its players to action in the future. So you're just mad that it wasn't some like social issue. Look, this is, you know what? Who benefits from this? BIPOC developers. If you want to go down that road, minorities who run apps, who, a smaller cut of that would change their lives. Competitive advantages for underprivileged kids in apps. I mean, there's just any number of people that benefit. How about all the kids, the BIPOC people that play play Fortnite, that might be able to save some money if their fees weren't so high? I mean, if you want to go down that road, you can. Ultimately now, Apple banned Fortnite from its app store, and they banned it, and Android banned it. Following its removal from the App Store, Fortnite has also been kicked off the Google Play Store. Earlier today, Epic Games snuck in an update for both the iPhone and Android versions of the game that allowed users to pay Epic directly for in-app purchases instead of using the official sanctioned system for both platforms. Of course, that's against terms of service, and they knew. I mean, they baited them, and they took the bait spectacularly, and that's exactly what happened. What followed was a wild ride. Apple kicked Fortnite from the App Store. Then Epic sued Apple. Then finally there was an in-game video parodying Apple's own 1984 commercial, positioning Apple itself as a monopolist. Now Google is in the conversation. As with Apple, Google requires the same Google Pay system for in-app purchase. Although the Play Store's rules are somewhat more lax than Apple's when it comes to in-app purchases, Google does draw the line at games. It's quite clear-cut. Developers offering products within game downloaded on Google Play or providing access to game content must use Google Play in-app billing as a method of payment. Google system takes 30% cut, just as Apple does. Now, these are all things. All this is posturing to get a lower rate, but Epic's fighting a battle on two fronts here, and it's pretty spicy. You see skill up here, booted up Fortnite on a mobile device, and 1984 cinematic is the first thing you see, followed by hashtag free Fortnite. And if we look at the hashtag free Fortnite, I don't think it really took, did it? It didn't really take. I mean, I guess. I don't think that 8-year-olds that play Fortnite really use Twitter that often. Most of these tweets, I mean, I'm looking at top. The top one I see is from SkillUp, and that's only 2,000 likes. He would have got that on a tweet without the hashtag. So I don't know that the hashtag exactly worked for them, but I'm excited for this because I don't care about Epic Games. I care about the trickle down of this and how it could positively impact all sorts of other developers. Fortnite maker Epic Games just set up an antitrust trap for Apple, and Tim Cook walked right into it. I'll be interested to see how this all plays out. Hopefully this just means good things for everybody. What it probably means is Epic will get some sweetheart deal and this will all go away, and that'll be unfortunate. But nonetheless, I'll be watching this. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.